This COVID-19, I tell you, I don't know that I didn't see COVID 1 through 18, so I don't really know what this is all about.
At the beginning of this whole self quarantine, you did a very funny video about sort of like doing stand up in your yard.
Yeah.
Now that we're sort of deeper into it, how do you think? Do you have perspective on how quarantine has affected the comedy community?
It's very, very frustrating, and I don't like predicting things because that's always such a crapshoot. I know I can say for sure that a lot of mid-level comedians who hadn't quote unquote broken yet, that were still kind of depending on the road, both not just for money, but for the experience and the seasoning and stuff, are really, really missing that. And it'll be interesting to see which comedians adapt and survive, much like in the late 80s when the comedy club scene completely collapsed. And then you had the rise of alt comedy and things like that. This is a much more, I think, profound collapse, because this is even though there was a collapse of the club scene, and alt comedy rose, alt comedy was still comedians in front of people connecting with them. That form, now the form itself has changed unilaterally for everyone that does it. I'm humble enough to admit that I can't see how comedy will work without an audience, without a live human being in front of you. Now, maybe there's a solution that I'm not seeing, that a younger and much smarter generation that's more used to these kind of setups will be able to see and exploit and live and make pop. But right now, if comedy can't be an in-person, if comedy can't be an event, a live event, I don't know what the alternative is right now. I mean, you've seen these people, monologists, on doing their home stuff, Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers, and they're adapting as best they can, but there's just something missing there. And I'm saying that about people that are really, really good at this, and there's something missing. Even when like vaudeville transitioned to TV, that kind of performance, they still brought an audience into the TV studios so you could have that thing. This is the first time where you cannot bring a live audience into this thing. There has to be the give and take, because it's what makes every live comedy performance unique, is that every audience is its own specific sentient being in that moment, and it will subtly change what the performer, what he or she does. And that is what makes it so exciting to go see. And I don't know how I don't know how they recreate it over this medium.
Oh, hey, how you doing there? How you doing today?
You suck.
All right. Let's, folks, make sure to tip your food delivery people, but don't touch them.
There's been a couple, clubs that are kind of on the edge, and I'm wondering how comedy clubs will fare, because like no one's ordering takeout from Zanies.
2 months in feels very premature to roll the dice on predicting a model of the future right now. And also, I think a lot of us are worried about, how can I put this? If someone makes a prediction or does a forecast, and enough people start running with it and repeating it, then that just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it sinks into people's heads of like, no, we don't need to reopen these things, or no, we don't need to, and then it just never happens again. And I think that's being shown in there's this insanely forceful, premature, we are reopening the cruise lines. Cruises are because they know that no one wants to do it anymore. So it's almost like they're if we hammer it enough into the public's head, then they'll just exist again. It's almost like they're trying to preempt everyone going, no, I don't want to be on a ship where I'm eating on a buffet every night in a seat. Like there could not be more negatives to going on a cruise during the time of COVID-19, which is why I'm seeing on the internet, they're hammering people. The cruises are going to start again. We are going to start. Like, guys, what are you doing? I don't even know if buffets are going to happen. It'll be a thing like when you watch movies from the 80s and there's a smoking and non-smoking section on a plane. You're like, oh yeah, that's what that. So you'll watch movies where people are at buffets and go, oh yeah, that people used to do that. They should just lay food out, and everyone would just lean over it and scoop, and there will, just like with everything, there's going to be things that when we come out of this, that will no longer be, that we'll look back on in pop culture and go, oh, that's okay, yeah, that's right. I think Weird Al Yankovic posted that really funny video of him and his family were watching some movie with The Rock, and The Rock and this other guy shake hands in a big way, and he recorded his family all going, ah! They're all screaming at the hand shaking. So, that's going to be fascinating to see.
Ah! No! Ah! Ah!